Hello, I'm Fenland Fisherman and welcome to another fishing video.
Well, hello, and I'm back on YouTube again. It's taken a bit of a while, but due to a set of circumstances out of my control, I haven't been able to upload the last couple of videos I've filmed. They will be uploaded, it's going to take a little bit longer. They're both catfishing videos actually, or one of them is. So that's going to go up next spring, summer, when it's sort of about the right time of year for them again. But funnily enough, you join me here today doing something I haven't done in a very long time, and that's carp fishing. Now, typical me, most people tend to carp fish in the spring and the autumn. What do? I say no, I'm going to go right in the middle of winter when it's probably at its hardest. That's what I'm doing today. I'm actually at the lake where I film my catfish videos in the summer, but I thought there are a few nice carp in here, so I'm going to come and give it a go. Hopefully the cats will have switched off now, because it's obviously winter, it's January. So hopefully it'll just be the carp left feeding, because the problem in the summer is, because the cats are feeding, they tend to push the carp off. So we're going to give it a go today. Now, there's already been a few problems encountered. One good thing though is luckily that I'm the only one on the lake tonight, but I have free rein of where I want to go. I had a little chat with the bailiff and saw where I was producing, so I've had a little walk around, and that's a real key tip, and I'll talk more about that sort of stuff later on. But a real key tip in the winter especially is to really try and locate your fish. Now, unfortunately, after about an hour and a half, 2 hours of walking around, I just didn't see any fish move, so I ended up going on the old faithful of finding out what swims have been producing. So I'm on one of them now, and hopefully I'm going to catch fish. First problem is that I've actually got a coot which has decided to dive over my bait. He hasn't picked it up yet, but that's just a matter of time. And the second problem is that I haven't really got the right bait with me. What I've been meaning to use is maggots. But unfortunately I've only got half a pint, so we're on the boilie approach for the session. If I don't catch anything by tomorrow, we'll change on to maggots and see if I can change my fortunes. But we're going to give it a go into the night tonight. I got here sort of late afternoon, so the light's starting to fade already. But I'm going to fish through the night tonight, and probably fish through the day tomorrow, depending on how I catch or how I do over the night. I'm not overly hopeful, because usually when I fish I like to try and see some fish first, try and get some signs, and unfortunately I haven't actually seen any signs of fish except from one quite close in earlier on. I went round the lake and saw some fish, or I saw a fish move off a shallow platform or plateau. So there's not really that much going on at the moment, but fingers crossed. It's winter, so I'll be happy with one carp. If I can get a carp out, that's quids in for me. I'm a happy bunny, but I'm going to give it a crack, and I'll see you in a little bit, probably with a cup of tea. As you can see, I had nothing in the night. What actually happened is I got absolutely plagued by small carp. I've just noticed on the camera it seems a bit messy. I think I might need to clean the lens after this. But nothing special, but it's bigger than the tiny little 1 pound fish I was having at night. I think it's probably pushing on 3. It's a huge. But there you go, I suppose it saved me from a winter carp blank. Not what I'm here for. Well, the species is, but not the size. We have something about 10 times this size, so I'll put him back, it's quite wriggly. But that took my maggot rig, my very makeshift maggot rig. I'm actually meant to be out doing a bit of chub fishing tomorrow, but it's looking like the weather is going to be pretty poor, so I'm going to have a chat with my mate I'm going with, and if I'm not going chubbing, I think I might stay on here another night. But I'm going to move swim. No matter what, I'm going to give it about another hour here I'm gonna move swim and give it a go somewhere else, because I'm not very happy with my swim choice. It's been really hard going actually, but I'll talk to you more about that over a cup of tea. Let's get this fish back. Well, so I put that fish back. So unfortunately that's actually the biggest fish of the session. I came here in mind of hope for at least a winter 20, I thought, you know. But this is a water I don't have that much experience on. I've fished here a couple of times for the catfish in the summer, and that's what it's really known for, is the cats, but there are a few nice carp in here. And I've been told the stocking density with the carp and the cats is quite similar, so I thought with how decent it was for the cats in the summer, I thought if I come in the winter the cats were switched off and the carp be feeding. But it's been a bit of a nightmare actually, because what I always seem to forget about is that there's loads and loads and loads of little carp here, between, you know, 1 and 2 pound, or half a pound and 1 pound mainly. And God, last night at the dawn of the carp, it was absolutely mental. It was just constant runs, and they're not proper runs, it's just bobbing, just bouncing about like bream really, but a little bit more violent. And it was just a nightmare. So I just felt it was almost pointless being here, because I just couldn't ever imagine I'd get through to anything more decent than these little fish. It's calmed down during the day. I haven't had anywhere near the amount of bouncy runs, excuse me, during the day as I have over the night, but everything's slowed down now. But the main issue of fishing here is just the mud. Now, I'm all for fishing out obviously fishing outdoors, you don't fish indoors, do you? But I like being outside, and I don't really care about the elements or a bit of mud, but this is just atrocious. And when you're fishing overnight and you're just caked in mud, it's not fun at all. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna take the bivvy down, which will be great fun, I'm sure. Get all my gear sort of together, and I'm gonna move on down to a couple of pegs down, which I like the look of in there. Have another walk around, another look around, and either fish the last few hours there, or if I don't end up going chub fishing tomorrow, I'll probably do another night here tonight. I'll have to go off to a shop and get some more supplies, but that's not too much of a worry. It'll give me a chance to get changed as well, 'cause I'm a bit muddy, and I'd like to, if I'm going to do another night, I'd rather start it fresh. But in terms of food and stuff, I've got just about enough supplies. Bait, I'd like to get some more maggots. Seems like maggots are a good bait here at the moment. Then again, I've got nothing to really judge it on, because I've caught equally as many small carp on my boilie rod as I have on the maggot rod, except that larger fish, I say larger, 3 pound, whatever it was, just came onto the maggots, so that's a bit nicer. Yeah, so it's not quite what I expected. I expected it to be a bit, I mean, I'm the only one on there, so I expected to maybe have a nicer fish, but that's winter carping for you. Even if you're on a fairly good water, it can be tricky at the best of times. So that's what's happened today. And as I've always said, I do prefer a challenge. It's made me think, which is nice. I haven't just chucked it in and fish have fallen on the hook. Well, not big fish anyway. But God, I've never had this before. Last night, there's so many little carp in it, I actually had 2 on the same hook. God knows how they did it, but they did it. There's 2 on the same hook, just insane. And so that's why I had to start fishing tight lines. I always fish slack lines in the winter for carp as a rule. I just don't like that line cutting through. I suppose you could fish backleads, but I don't like backleads. So I was fishing slack lines, and I had my rod out for like about 4 or 5 hours, reeled it in, and there was these 2 little carp on this hook, and I thought, I didn't even get an inkling of indication on it, and clearly it's because I had that slack line and they just weren't able to move the lead enough to obviously pull it through the bite along. So I thought, alright, I'll fish tight lines, get our bobbins out, and then I found out one of my bobbins is missing, so now I've got some monstrosity on there next to my normal bobbin. It just looks awful. Something I must have bought when I was about 4 years old from Argos or something, but it does the job. Just makes you feel a bit crap looking. That's my OCD carpus side coming out of me. Not a pleasant side. But anyway, yeah, so that's the session as a whole so far. Not particularly inspiring for you to watch, I gather that, but hopefully if I stay another night, or even if I move, I might nab a nicer fish. As ever, it's not guaranteed, but there we go. But anyway, apart from that, I've quite enjoyed being out. I did a bit of sander and pike fishing with Nothing But Fishing. I'm sure you'll all know him, Joe. That was last week. Unfortunately, we didn't film. There's loads of complications there, but we didn't film. I managed a nice set out, £9.6, and Joe managed a nice pike, I think £12, something like that. Nice fish. and then there's several other fish in between, mainly pike that we had throughout the session. Believe it or not, even this time, yes, it's January now, we fished that in December, late December, and we were getting bothered by eels, believe it or not, in late December. Incredible stuff, you know. So it's just so mild at the moment. It's about 9 degrees today, and it's, you know, quite pleasant out there, except from all the mud. So you just wouldn't know it's January, which is why I thought the carp might be feeding, but they don't seem to be at the moment. Not the big ones, anyway. But yeah, so then what else did I do? Yeah, so I went back and did a bit more pike fishing, caught the bug a little bit. Again, I didn't film that, but I actually caught my new PB pike, which isn't that big. I haven't, believe it or not, despite being the Fenland fisherman and living in the fens, my PB pike is pretty small. So I caught one that was 16 pound something, 6 ounces, something like that. So nice fish. I took him a bit by surprise. So yeah, and my old PB was 15 pound or something. I was doing a feature for a magazine actually, and I caught it during that. And I remember it looked about 20 odd pound, but just had no weight behind it. It's a bizarre fish, right big head on it, just nothing in its body, so it's pretty dying. But anyway, that's a nice note to end this blog on. So I'll give it a few more hours, a few more cups of tea, take the bivvy down. At least then I'm packed away if I do have to go, and at least I caught a fish. Not a big fish, but a fish. Well, as you can tell from the scene behind me, hopefully you can see that I've moved swim. I've only got about 3 or 4 hours left of the session. I was sick and tired of not catching anything in the other swims, so I thought, you know, what's it going to hurt? I don't always like moving swims though, because quite often it means you're coming off that spot where you committed a bit of bait, but because it's winter, I just like to fish PVA bass and things like that, so I haven't committed too much bait to the swim, so I'm not really that upset about moving. It's only me on the lake as well, so it's not very often you have that privilege, so I decided to make use of that, and I've moved down into one of the corners of the lake. Looks quite nice, but we haven't got that long to try and pull this session back, so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can wangle a fish out, but if not, you know, it'd be nice to get out for 24 hours. I do really, as I always say, I do these night sessions when I've been at uni, I do really miss doing these nights, and it's just nice to get out and you're sat out on your own in the quiet with nature, and there's that moment in the middle of the night where your alarm just comes to life and that silence is just broken by, just all hell breaks loose. It's just amazing when you get that. It's really nice. Anyone who night fishes for carp or anything will know exactly what I mean. It's a real special moment. Safe to say it didn't really happen last night, but it's always nice to hope, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to settle in here for a little bit. I'll put some of my stuff back in the car. It's nice having a car now, it means I can go when I want. But yeah, I would like to do another night on here, but I just cost money, can't really afford it, and also means I have to go to town and get some money out and get some more bait, and you know, can I really be bothered? Probably not, but there we go. I might go out and do a bit of pike fishing something tomorrow instead. Anyway, let's see if we can get something out of here. Fingers crossed we can save this session from, well, I say a blank, we've had a few little ones, but save it from what I'd call a blank. Right, well, there's a big smile on my face, and there's a good reason for that. Thank God I moved swims. Just had my first proper fish of the session, and it's what I really came here for. Well, nothing quite like this, but I came here for a good carp. I've certainly got one here. My first winter, my first carp, the proper carp of the year, and 31 pounds, no sorry, better myself, just under 31 pound, 30 pound, 10 ounces. Look at that, what a proper fish. Proper fish. So happy to have caught her. Fought like a brute, couldn't get it in the net. Proper heart and mouth stuff. What an absolute beast. So happy. A few hours left of the session. Yes, we can. Great stuff. Right, I'm going to put her back. It's about to flip. A couple of photos first, I think. Good stuff. Well, I think the correct thing to say after that is thank God for that. Been here for just over 24 hours now, and got to about 12:30. I thought, you know, I've got to move. I don't feel comfortable where I am. came down to a corner of the lake and thought that looks a bit carpy, and I put my left hand rod in there on the maggot rod. After, I don't know, about an hour, it roared off. I nearly crapped myself because I wasn't expecting it. And I was tying a PVA bag went everywhere, it's all melted, there's bait everywhere. And yeah, and 30 pound, 10 ounce, 9 ounce, just insane. Absolutely over the moon with that. I've worked very hard for that fish. I thought it was a bit cheeky of me trying to get a winter carp out in 24 hours without any kind of experience in the water in the winter, but it's happened, and thank God for that. And it just shows what, you know, that saying, an hour in the, or 10 minutes in the right place is worth an hour or whatever it is in the in my case 24 hours in the wrong place. So incredibly happy with that. About to get the kettle on, have my celebratory brew, but another hour, 2 hours left of the session before it starts getting dark, and then I'm going to reel in and go home and think. I fancy another night on here. I've got tomorrow free now, but I just think, you know, I've caught the fish now. If I hadn't caught the fish, I think I would have done another night. But as soon as I've caught that fish, I think I'm going to head off home when it starts getting dark. But cup of tea now, try and get a few extra bits for the blog for you as well, because I didn't do much filming from this morning. I thought, I'm not going to catch anything, so I won't upload it. And it's always what happens is you don't do much filming, and then you catch a fish and you think, crap, I've got to get some footage together now. But I'll cobble something together for you. It'd be nice to show you this, since it's not my PB, but it's not that far. I've cut a pound off my PB, so I'm really pretty happy with that. Clonking fish as well. Right, so a cup of tea. Finishing tea off. Spot on. So yeah, not bad in the end, eh? So that fish actually was the first from anything to me. First of all, first good fish of 2016 carp wise. Second thing, first winter 20. Third, it is the first decent carp, I've got loads of little ones, but decent carp that I've caught on maggots, interesting enough. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned last night or this morning that the waters I fish for good carp, but they've never really been on maggots, or not easily so anyway, so yeah, that's the first fish on those. And curiously enough, it's actually my first fish on coated braid. Now, I've heard a lot of people ranting and raving about coated braid and how good it is, so I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a go. I've tied up that maggot rig with some of the new Gardener sink skin. I think I've got it in, I'm trying to think what pound it is now, 15 pound. The camo brown, I like to go for, brown's my favourite colour actually for any braid that I use on my rigs. But no, I just find it blends in with a lot more varying bottoms than say grey does. Or green for that. I always found green stands a bit too luminous against most bottoms, unless I was fishing into algae or something like that. So yeah, I tried it out and it's worked for plenty of little ones, and obviously that big beast just a minute ago, well, to me it's big. I think a 30 pound carp to me is still pretty special, especially how hard it's been today or the last 24 hours. Anyway, yes, I gave that a go and it worked a treat, so I'm very, very happy with that. And also it's weird to diverge from my normal braid. You use Trickster Heavy, and I've got that on one rod, and I swear by that stuff, but I thought, you know what, sometimes it's good to break the mould a little bit and go against what you don't know, and try new things. I'm not sure if that last bit made any sense, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. Again, sort of size 10 mugger, did the job as well, real nice. It's the same rig as I've always used, so it looked like any of my carp videos. Look at that, except I had maggots on the end, not on boiling. One thing I did do though is, I don't really want to reel in the rig to show you, but what I did do is I pushed a caster, a fake caster, sorry, a little rubber one, onto the hair just before the maggots. I found the maggots on the ring were quite heavy, so if I put a little fake caster on, just sort of settled it neutrally buoyant, and that probably helps it to get sucked into the carp's mouth a bit more. I'm really trying making all my baits neutrally buoyant. From fishing a bottom bait, I usually either drill it out and put a bit of cork or foam in there, but usually what I do is I try and tip it with some kind of pop-up. Even the 10 millers I've been trimming down. I've got one rod on a 10 mil bottom bait, and on that one at the moment I've just got a tiny bit of fake corn. That just offsets it nicely and sits it nice. Or I'll trim down a little pop-up. Usually fluoro. I like a little bit of colour sometimes on my baits. But the boilie rod has only produced tiny ones, but I think that's mainly because of where I was last night. I think if I'd been in this swim, I would have caught more fish. But that's fishing, isn't it? You know, I can't complain too much since I caught that last one. So really, coming back from uni, I also come back for a couple of weeks over winter, over Christmas. I haven't done too bad. I had that £9 sounder, which obviously didn't film. PB pike, again didn't film it. And now this carp, which obviously I did film. So yeah, not bad really for a couple of weeks fishing, is it? Got to smash it out, smash and run, isn't it? That's literally what I've done. I've come down here, tried to get as much fishing in as I can. Now I'm running back again. So I'm back up north again Sunday. It's Wednesday today? I think it's Wednesday. God knows what day it is. But what I'll do is I'll spend the rest of the week sort of getting my stuff together and tidying up and doing a bit of work. I'm now doing a research masters, so I finished my degree, as you know, and I'm doing a masters again back for the University of Hull in Scarborough still. That's quite lucky of me. And pretty much, if you're interested, it's a masters looking into how we can restore gravel pits for wading birds. So bang up my street, you know, with birds, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Bit of hard work, but that's what we want, isn't it? So yeah, I think maybe I might try and do a bit more sea fishing back up in Scarbados again. I've had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to do any more sea fishing videos up there. I figured people didn't really enjoy them that much because I was catching little flatties and things like that, but people seem to enjoy them. So, you know, if you want me to do one, just let me know. I'll try and sort of scrape together a bit of time. A lot of my time up there is obviously devoted to doing my masters. I do quite a lot of birding up there, and conservation work as well, so quite busy really. And also photography. If you've seen any of my Northern Lights stuff, I like to do that a little bit. So yeah, nice to do something different and come down south, do a bit of fishing on some of my local patches. Still feel very attached to it all down here, so I'm not ready to give it all up yet, that's for sure. But yeah, nice cup of tea. Could it get any better really? £30 carp. Not really. Maybe a big winter cat, eh? I'm going to enjoy this. Probably got another hour or so left. My phone's died, for the iPhone. So I'm listening to the radio to try and figure out what time it is. To tell you every hour, so don't they? Hopefully, anyway. But I'm going to start packing up sort of the bits and bobs, like the little table I've got, and so I'm just ready to chuck it all on the barrow and go. Because I think the gate's shut at 5, so I might be doing another night whether I like it or not if I don't get out of here in time. Anyway, hopefully that's filled you a little bit about the stuff I used to catch it. Obviously, like I said, called it maggots. All I was doing was just for the bait side of things, just crushing up some pellets and boilie and some maggot and chucking them all into it. Not crushing the maggots, whole maggots obviously. Put them into a PVA bag, and literally that's all I'm doing. I came down around this spot this morning and flicked a few baits in, a few boilies. Maybe they got them feeding, I don't know. I didn't see the carp sort of crapping out. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. I didn't see the carp crapping out any of my boilies, so I don't think I put enough in really for them to get going on it. But anyway, that's probably enough info for you. Cup of tea time, and maybe we'll catch another one. If not, I'll probably see you when I'm signing off. Well, the light really is going now, so I think I'm going to call it a day, bring the rods in. I'm quite a bit over 24 hours now, probably about 27, 28 hours. So I've been here for a little while, I've given it a go, I've caught my fish, so you've got to be happy with that, haven't you? It's always nice to try and catch another one, but sometimes you can hold on too long, and I want to get out of here before they lock the gates, so I don't get stuck here for another night with not enough food, not enough water, not enough bait. Wouldn't be very good. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed what I've managed to cobble together to be a video. Yeah, it's been really good for me. I quite enjoy sessions where I have to work for the fish, and I haven't had to work that hard for a carp for a little while now. It's a really hard fish to get, keep swapping and changing tactics. So quite often when you plan what tactics you're going to use, it's nice just to go down that route and stay with the plan, but sometimes you have to change what you're doing, you have to change your tactics, and also in this case it's my swim choice as well. But it shows it's good not to get stuck in your ways, to actually swap and change things a bit, and to obviously go and do what need to do other things. And I mean, you know, change swims, change tactics, etc., etc. So proof is very much in the pudding. So yeah, gonna call it a day. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time in Tight Lines.